guys, I'm Amy. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have Erin here with me because we are gonna do a super fun video. What are we doing?
We are gonna pick out, or we have picked out, 5 books that each person wants the other person to read by the end of the year.
Yeah.
And they could be anything.
Yeah, no, we just pretty much went through my bookshelves, our bookshelves really.
Yeah, our bookshelves.
Mostly my bookshelves. And picked out some books. The only thing is I think we've read the books we're asking the other person to read, we've personally read.
Yes.
Yeah. So, if you guys are interested in the books that we've selected for one another, keep watching.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so this first book that I selected for Erin is a book that I picked based on the fact that one of his favorite books is The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak, and I think that this is a more sophisticated version of that I personally liked more than The Book Thief. So yeah, so that is All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. So this book is about 2 characters, one of which is a young man who is working with radios in the Nazi army, and the other is a blind girl living in, where did they move to? Saint-Malo, which is on the coast of France. And I liked that the story takes place in France and also that we get the point of view of a Nazi soldier. The girl is blind, which adds a really fascinating aspect to this book, I think. And the chapters are super short, so it's kind of chunky, but you get through it rather quickly.
Sweet.
So this is a book that I picked because I thought you would like it. And that's why I picked it.
Okay.
Okay.
Do we want to alternate?
Yeah. Here,
okay.
You take.
So I'm going to hold on to this now.
And Erin might listen to some of these on audiobook, me as well as I might, but he listens to more audiobooks than I do.
Okay, so this one I did because I'm a weirdo. So I actually really enjoyed the Percy Jackson and the Olympians, and Amy read
He
I don't know how to do this. I've watched her videos, but apparently I'm still just a newbie. By Rick Riordan. And this is the Titan's Curse, which is the 3rd in the Percy Jackson and the Olympians series. And this one actually was my favorite. And she read the first 2 and stopped here, and I've been pestering her for like a year and a half.
That's true. Hey,
read this one. Hey, can you just please read this one? You don't need to read any others. Just read this one. For those of you who don't know, it's about the story of Percy Jackson. I think most people probably know that story.
He's a half-blood?
Yeah, he's a half-blood.
Camp Half-Blood, right?
That's it, Camp Half-Blood. His dad is Poseidon. So it follows Greek mythology, and this particular one talks about the Titan's Curse. And I don't want to talk anymore.
You can't talk about this one specifically because it's the 3rd in the series.
Exactly. I need to be hush-hush.
Alrighty, cool. Alright. This next book that I picked is one that is a personal favorite of mine, like long time, my entire life type favorite book.
Oh goodness, it is, isn't it?
It is. And that is Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. This was one of the first classics that I ever read, and is probably the classic that I've read the most, like reread-wise. It's this or Pride and Prejudice, but this book is just near and dear to my heart. I grew up with a younger sister and then 2 younger cousins, and we were all stair-stepped by a couple years. And this book was just the book of my childhood and growing up, and it's one that I love to return to. This is the copy that I originally read that is rather beat up. Erin has seen the movie with Winona Ryder and Susan Sarandon, but he's not read the book, and I think that's necessary.
That is fair. I remember
and he would never pick this book up on his own.
I would not. And I do remember watching that movie with you the first time, and she was quoting the whole thing.
I've probably really never seen another movie more than this one.
Yeah, because, I mean...
He's the movie buff.
Yeah, obviously. So cool.
Okay.
I'll look forward to doing this one.
What's my next one?
Next one I have is Royal Assassin by Robin Hobbs. Sorry, not Hobbs. My bad. Robin Hobb. Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb, and this is the 2nd book in the Farseer trilogy.
Is this one your favorite?
Yes, this one is my favorite.
Of the 3? Of
the 3. There's an Assassin Apprentice, Royal Assassin, and then Assassin's Quest. And Royal Assassin is my favorite. You get introduced to some really fun characters. I mean, obviously it's not light reading, and the font isn't super small, but it's not super big.
You listened to this one on audio.
I did, and I listened to this one. I listened to all 3 of them on audiobook. Obviously, I am more of an audiobook kind of guy. I have a long commute to work, so it's just nice to listen to a story.
Yeah.
This one, it's really, really good. It tells a really good story.
No one's surprised you picked this.
No one's surprised, because I don't know if Amy's talked to you.
Yeah, they know I've read Royal Assassin, or Assassin's Apprentice.
Really, really good. I really enjoyed it. And it just continues to tell a good story. So
awesome. Cool deal.
Yippee skippy.
He's gone to the dark side. He doesn't drink tea with me anymore.
I do drink tea, just not very often.
Never know. All right, this next book that I picked just so happens to be one of my favorite books of last year, but this is also a book that I think Erin will love. And that's Sourdough by Robin Sloan. I've almost said Robin Hobb. Another Robin. Back-to-back Robins.
Yeah.
And this is the story about Lois Clary, who is a computer programmer. She lives in San Francisco, and she's just over her life, really. Like, she's not into it. She's just going through the motions. And this kind of takes place in, like, the future a bit. They don't specify, but you don't necessarily have to eat food to survive because they have these, like, nutrient packs that you just eat and then you can keep going.
Sounds nice.
And every night she gets dinner from this restaurant from their two brothers. I don't know why that was so difficult to say. And they make this really incredible sourdough bread, and they make this really awesome spicy soup that she loves, and that's like the only thing she looks forward to throughout her day. And then they have visa issues, and so they have to leave the country, so they leave with her their sourdough starter, which kind of has these like weird properties to it and these special things. And this book is perfect for people who love technology and also love food because it blends the two. There's like this kind of pseudo secret society type thing. She goes to a club. It's the Lois Club, so everybody in it is named Lois. This book is charming and wonderful and a very quick read, and I really think you'll like it.
Perfect. Looking forward to it. And you have talked about this quite a bit. And
I love that book.
I think it'll be a lot of fun. Okay, this next one, I'm sneaky.
I think this is cheating.
I don't think it's cheating. So,
I do, because I wanted to pick 6 books for you.
Right.
And you said no, but Erin actually has picked 6 books because he's cheating.
Incorrect. I've picked 5 books. I want her to read 5 books. However, in order to read this book, she needs to read the first book, and it is God's Grave by J. Kristoff. And the first one was Nevernight, which was fun. It was a great book. But God's Grave, man, takes like 15 steps up. I really enjoyed it. It was a great audiobook to listen to. It was a great story.
What's the story?
The story...
You gotta give them background.
I gotta give them background?
It's a book about assassins.
It's a book about assassins.
It's a revenge story.
It is. It's entirely a revenge story, which is super...
a kick-ass chick.
Yeah, a kick-ass chick who's kick-ass right there. That's what I mean. And the cover art is just awesome. Look at that. She's just so dark and brooding and nasty. So it's got a little bit of...
So Erin cheated.
I didn't cheat. So she needs to read Nevernight, the first one, in order to read that one.
How much would it frost your cookies if I just read God's Grave?
It would frustrate me.
Yeah.
But
he knows I won't.
Yeah.
Which is why he did it.
Well, how much would it... Never mind. We're not going to get there. Anyway, it's a really good story, good about revenge and assassins and a little bit of magic and a lot of planning on multiple sides, and it's... Everything okay over there?
Yeah, I was looking at time and then I realized you were still talking.
Notice how I play second fiddle over here. She doesn't care what I'm talking about.
The next book that I've selected for Erin is a book that if you've been with me since the beginning of my channel, so July of 2017. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
July of 2017. You will know that I reviewed this book and I really didn't enjoy it. But this is a book that I'd like to reread because I've changed a lot as a reader since I've read it, and there's a lot of people that I really respect their opinions that really like this book / series. And that is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. This is a fantasy book in which there are 3 Londons or 4 Londons? 1, 2... 3, 4. There's 4 Londons, and each have varying amounts of magic in them. Grey London being the, like, what the world actually was. Because this takes place, King George III, around that time frame. And our main character is, I haven't looked at it, Kel. He's one of the very few people left that can travel between these Londons. And this is a trilogy. A lot of people really love it. I didn't love it when I read it, but like I said, I'd like to revisit it. But I do think Erin would enjoy it because it's dark, it's kind of brooding, it's fantasy, and I would love to know his opinion. And then if he really loves it, I'll probably... Oh, Millie just hit the camera. Come on, book. I'll probably want to reread it more. So, I think you'll like that one.
Cool. So, the next book for Amy that I have picked is called How Not to Be Wrong, The Power of Mathematical Thinking by Jordan Ellenberg. I listened to the audio...
Side note, I'm going to interject real quick. Erin has a degree in math.
Yeah.
So, math...
I'm a weirdo.
We got a numbers nerd over here.
Yeah, kind of weird. But anyway, so How Not to Be Wrong, Power of Mathematical Thinking. And it is a phenomenal read. It's super easy. You don't need to be... You could go in with literally zero knowledge of mathematics, and the way that Jordan writes this is phenomenal. It's very simple. It's very good to go through. He has something in here called How I Teach You How to Do Calculus in a Page, which
is my kind of calculus.
Which is awesome, because I mean, it's a little bit, it's pretty advanced, but Amy's never taken calculus, so I'd be very curious to see how she will interpret this one. But it's a lot of fun. It's a really good way to broaden your horizon and your way of thinking, specifically with regards to taking a step back, being a skeptic, and looking, you know, when someone tells you a statistic, okay, well, how did that come about? How did this... It's a very good informative read. And the audiobook is also narrated by Jordan. And he is super, super smart. Like, crazy.
He just wrote a book about math. So
yeah,
I feel like that's implied.
But a book.
He's been trying to get me to read this book for a long time as well.
And it's a book. It's not just a book about math, but it's a book about math that is very approachable from all people. So. Which
is, like I said, my kind of math.
Yeah.
All right. The last book I've selected for Erin has been a book that I haven't read. Do you know what it is by looking at it? Since I was in high school. I think I was in high school. And this is another one that I need to revisit, especially because April from Getting Hygge With It listed this as like her second favorite book of last year. But I adored this book when I read it, and I think this is a book that will challenge Erin in that it's not his usual read.
Oh, geez.
But I think he'll think the story is incredible, because this is just an amazing story, and it's a total bummer this author hasn't written anymore. And that is Memoirs of a Geisha by Arthur Golden.
Oh, okay.
So, if you don't know, this is the book about a young girl who her parents sell her and her sister into the sex business, the sex trade, I guess. And our main character becomes a geisha. And this is about how originally she just works at the geisha house. She's not a geisha herself, and then she becomes a geisha. And it's her life story, essentially. And it's incredible, it's amazing, it's heartbreaking, it's joyful, it's all of these things summed up. And I still remember reading certain scenes. And like I said, it's been over 10 years since I've read this. We're getting old. So I just think this is a book that will challenge you in the good ways, but I think you'll really like it.
Okay.
And it's one I need to reread as well. Maybe this should just be a books I want to reread that I'm going to force my husband to read instead.
I mean, gotta have something to talk about, right?
I think you'll like it.
Okay.
And I think it'll push you.
Perfect.
And then we can watch the movie.
Yeah, I like movies. I do like movies. So, Amy is obviously the bibliophile, loves books. I love movies.
Yeah.
Absolutely love movies. And that's just... yeah, so, I mean, I think we kind of started a thing, too, of like, I read a book, you watch a movie, I read a book, yeah. I think it's more fair because watching a movie takes a lot less time than reading a book, but that's just my 2 cents.
It's because he reads slow.
Anyway, so the last book that I have is a book called My Only Choice, written by Helen Sourdough. And this is...
Watch the glare.
I know, sorry. My Only Choice by Helen Sourdough. And this book is written by my grandmother. And it is the story of her and her family as they live in Hungary literally from 1942 to 1956, when they end up escaping under the under communist rule, and they end up becoming refugees and coming here to the United States, and that's how, hey, look at me, I'm here now, yay. So it tells a very great story, and it goes in a lot of great detail. It's a great read, number one, and number two, I've also been to Hungary, and I went there with my grandmother, and we went on the exact same adventure that they did. Like we didn't actually do everything that they did, but we went on the path and we went the directions that they went, leaving from Budapest, going all the way into Austria. And it was a very, very amazing thing that they were able to do, especially with 3 children, one being just an infant. So it's a great story. It tells a lot about my family history, especially about when back with my grandparents. And I think Amy would not only appreciate it, but I think she would learn a lot more about my family.
Yeah, this is a book I've been wanting to read, obviously, because Nagymama means grandmother in Hungarian. She's our Nagymama. Because this was published in the last
2 or 3
5 years.
This one was published not too long ago.
Yeah, it's not very old, but I'm excited to read it. I know my sister-in-law's read it and really, really enjoyed it. So 2013.
2013. So yeah,
5 years.
5 years. Really good. Really, really good.
Awesome.
So.
Oh, I'm excited you picked this one.
Yeah.
Alrighty guys, there you have it. There are the books that we are challenging each other to read. I will of course be wrapping these up in my usual wrap-up videos. And, but I figure at the end of it, once we've read all 5 books, and that could be, I don't know, who knows, maybe we'll bust these out in the next 2 months and we'll do it again. Or around December, we will be doing a wrap-up. So, like I said, you'll see little baby wrap-ups as I read them, but then we will do like a final big wrap-up and share our thoughts and everything.
Yeah.
Erin reads a lot, especially on audiobooks, so he has great audiobook recommendations, and if you guys would like to see more of his really cute face, I think it's cute,
yeah.
Be sure to let us know down in the comments, and we can definitely make that happen. Like I said, Erin has great audiobook recommendations. I don't listen to audiobooks really ever, and he does all the time.
Obviously.
So,
yeah,
if you guys like this video,
please like it.
And if you loved it,
please subscribe.
And we'll see you in my next video.
Happy reading.
Happy reading. Hey, we have, I just hit Millie. Sorry.
What are you?
Kylie's talking to me.
That's important.
It is important. All right, my last book is a book that,
last book, you should have
2 more.
Yeah, come on now.
He's the one with the degree in math, not me.